What's up, everybody? Dog 1985. There's levels to this. Oh, there's levels to this. If the shoe fits, you already know what to do. You hate Xbox more than you love Sony. I'll say it again. You hate Xbox more than you love Sony. And it's evident in the way that you speak. You see, I realized something. I had an epiphany, right? And you guys, man, you PlayStation fans, you do it all the time. The more you talk, the more I sit back and I'm like, yo, do they realize that they're literally going against their own argument that they had 3 months ago? Now, it doesn't help that Sony keeps changing, your own narrative and stuff. Like, I don't think right now there's any PlayStation fan with any common sense that doesn't believe that every single game eventually will go to PC. If you believe that, for God's sakes, they put their top games on PC. And it means there's nothing off limits. But I made a video talking about how Shadow Warrior 3 is now day and date, and how Sony apparently can do day and date. When I know I wasn't the only one that was being bombarded by Sony fans and Sony ponies saying that there's no way Sony could do day and day. It's not profitable. All this other stuff, blah blah. I know I wasn't the only one that heard that, and it's impossible. But now all of a sudden, apparently, Sony has been doing day and date since forever. They've been doing it on PS Plus. They've been doing it on PS Now. Apparently this is not anything new. They've been doing it forever. So if they've been doing it forever, why was it that Sony can't do day and date? Oh, okay, Sony can't do day and date of their first party games until eventually they will. I want to see the person that can literally stand on their own 2 feet and actually believe that Sony will never do day and date first party on a service. Please speak up if you believe that Sony will never do that. But there's a difference between will and can't, because a lot of you guys are saying that they can't. Clearly they can. But this made me peel back an onion a little bit more. You see, you hate Xbox so much that you failed Sony. Instead of going on a pro-Sony campaign, you went on an anti-Xbox campaign, and you allowed, listen, I'm self-admitting it, you allowed Microsoft Game Pass to do similar things to what PS Now is doing and overshadow it. How did you allow that? You don't believe me? Let me show you something, okay? PS Now had streaming capabilities before Xbox did. Listen to what I'm saying. PS Now had streaming capabilities before the Xbox did. What do I mean by that? We recently just got xCloud on the consoles. PS Now been streaming games. So you know that whole narrative of, hey, I don't gotta download the game, I could just stream it. PS Now been doing that. They've been doing that. But you guys didn't use that as an argument. You just try to knock down Game Pass because you hate Xbox that much. Here's another thing. PlayStation Now has more downloadable games than Game Pass does. It has more downloadable games than Game Pass does. Now, as far as whether the games are better or not, hey bro, it's all subjective. It's all your opinion. It really is. That's why there's people that can look at Game Pass and see no value in it because they don't like none of those games. And that's, I mean, who am I to argue that? The same way that people that can look at this and be like, all of this is trash, right? And vice versa. There's people that'll look at this and be like, oh my God, this is great. But again, I'm only showing you the downloadable games. PS Now has more downloadable games than Game Pass. If you want to talk about games, period. Oh yeah, it's not even a question. But yeah, you got to stream it. That's not the argument y'all use though. Y'all destroyed Game Pass. Y'all went after Game Pass. Because you hate Xbox that much. Gaming services like Game Pass is going to destroy the gaming industry. Game Pass is the big boogie monster out here. However, PS Now is older than Game Pass. So Sony had a gaming service way before Xbox. Again, you hate Xbox so much that instead of promoting and just not even promoting, but whenever an argument came up about Game Pass, you should have said Sony's already doing it or Sony's doing it better. I know for a fact when we mentioned day and date games coming to Game Pass, no one back then was saying Sony already does day and date games. But now all of a sudden y'all want to act like it's something that's been done and it's highlighted or whatever. Y'all were not highlighting it because you hate Xbox so much that you failed to see how you were hurting Sony. I've said it plenty times that I would love to just see pro Sony channels promote PlayStation and the PS5. But y'all really don't. A lot of these channels are anti-Xbox. It's a huge difference. It's a huge difference. Pay attention to the Xbox channels. Most of the Xbox channels are anti-Sony fanboys. Because ain't nobody going to deny the greatness of Sony. There's plenty of Xbox gamers that talk about the greatness of Sony and how great the games are. Like we're not gonna sit here and deny that. There's nothing to deny. Now we'll deny whether or not a game is worth $70. We'll deny whether or not maybe I'm the only one that talks about the gimmick of the damn controller. Let me ask you guys this about this damn DualSense controller. What's the touchpad for? Are you guys actually using the touchpad? Or is it another home screen select button? An oversized home screen button? An oversized select button. That's what this damn thing is, right? Yeah, I don't want to talk about that though. You hate Xbox so much that you actually failed Sony. Because you should have been promoting all of this already in the gaming service. And PS Now is cheaper than Game Pass. Now, obviously, they're different. And I think maybe one of the biggest advantages is that you can't, on Xbox, on the Game Pass Ultimate, you can download the games on PC. But that's only for the Ultimate tier, right? Whereas on PlayStation, you got to stream them. Right? There's a difference. If you got a nice PC, it'd be nice if you could download all these games, or all the downloadable ones. But you failed Sony with your anti-Xbox hate. For what? Because now you got to backtrack everything. So now all of a sudden, gaming services are okay. All of a sudden, gaming services are not going to be the doom and gloom of gaming. Now all of a sudden, it must make sense for the developers to put their games on gaming services. I mean, I don't know. Am I the only one that was hearing all these narratives against Game Pass, and now all of a sudden it's not a thing anymore, and Sony's been doing it forever, and now like what are you doing? So I'm gonna help you out, dog. Because in reality, I could be a better Sony pony than you can, which is despicable. If I wanted to cap for Sony, I could do it way better than you could. Way better than you could. Because I wouldn't have to go against Xbox to do it. It would simply be whatever freaking Microsoft is doing, Sony has already done it. And then I put a little bit of garnish on it and tell you how Sony's doing it better. Put a little bit of trolling in between. You do realize that right now the narrative is that Sony is copying Microsoft with this gaming service thing? This is all your fool's fault that this is the narrative that Sony's going through. How is Sony on top sales wise, but it still feels like they're losing? I don't know what it is, but it feels like they're losing. It's because of you guys. The so-called we play games, not frames, but yet you're comparing everything. Oh boy. For me, Game Pass is still the better value right now. We'll see what Sony does with this whole Spartacus. But I don't want to see the bandwagon on gaming services. I was already all about gaming services way before a lot of y'all were into it. So I don't want to see the bandwagon now just because Sony's doing it. Keep the same exact energy. Keep the same exact energy. But we know you won't. A suggestion to you though, pro Sony guy, pro Sony girl. Talk about the greatness. I'll tell you what. Try to talk about the greatness without mentioning Xbox. Let's see if you could do it. I bet money you can't. I bet money you can't. Dark 1985. There's levels to this. This is your fault that Xbox looks better. You weren't just smart enough to argue it. You decided to attack instead of proving how Sony has been doing a lot of this stuff before. You could argue it's been doing it better. That's your fault. We out. Peace.